All right, guys, so today's a super exciting day. I got my throttle my throttle cable in, and this thing hasn't ran in a while, ever since the yard work was done with, and I had to use Pop's mower, which right now he's got the blower on. So I'm ready to have my own rig around, and this thing is selective of 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive, so this thing is going to be fun to drive around the snow. I do notice really badly that this thing is terribly inflated, and I'm probably going to have to slam the tire, but I mean, just pushing into it, it's awful. But for right now though, I'm gonna go ahead and install this acceleration cable. This is a brand I used. It is Boss Bearing. So this is the cable I got for my Suzuki quadrunner 250. The year is 2000. This thing does have low miles. It's got 1,463 miles. So I definitely feel like there's still more life in this thing. I definitely want to get a plow for this sucker and get some extra money for the winter. But let's go ahead and start with this video and get this thing installed. So I got the cable into the throttle area, so that's good. And when I pull on it here, so I'm gonna be pulling on it, you can see it moving with my thumb, which means this thing is working as it should. So I'm gonna go ahead and screw the bottom of this thing on. Well, actually you have to put it around the handlebar, screw it down tight. Then I'm gonna go ahead and fish in the wire and bring it. It's gonna go somewhere down there, which I'm not excited about because I took apart the car, but we're gonna figure this out together. All right, guys, this is a little challenging for me. So what I have to do, so here's the carburetor, right? So I have to fish this piece of string in here like this. And once it goes in, right here, this needs to be cranked. And then I have to stick this little pin in. And I remember cutting the acceleration cable to take it out, but there's no way in heck I'm cutting it to put it back in. And you can see my workspace. I have very, very little workspace. But through the camera, though, it actually looks like I have a lot of space. So I'm going to keep going ahead. But that's where we're at, though. Got it already attached up there. When I push the throttle, it moves. So I'm really hoping that once this is all hooked up, I'm going to start with before I put it together. And then once I get cranking and running, I'm going to put the four-wheeler back together and get the air tire figured out and drive it around. So you might think I'm crazy, but I've worked on this thing now for 20 minutes and no success. So I used a piece of tape so I can stick it in here because my fingers are just too big for the position it's gonna go in. And, well, it's still gonna be a hard call, but it's gonna be turned this way. Gotta stick it in there. Once I do, then I can pull on the throttle and then it will catch itself and it'll go in. So after half an hour, I finally got that little pin in. So now, if you're watching here, if I pull my throttle cable, voila, there's it all by itself. So, super happy. This would be a really bad time to find out that you wired, like you strung it in wrong. It would be a really bad time. I'd scream and cry. Guess what's next is, there was some ring on here, I remember. So I need to go ahead and find that ring. It's somewhere in here. It's like a rubber band. And maybe put some lube on there. Oh, this would have been good to know. It could have came. What the heck? I had it like this the whole time. It would have been much easier if it would have been pushed down. I would have had way more room to work with. What the heck? Oh, whatever. But yeah, now you have better access to it, as you can see. So I'm going to throw it. Now I want to start it, but I got to put everything. I got to start sealing everything up. I don't know what. Here it is. That rubber band I was telling you about. I don't know what the screw is like. I don't know what kind of screws it was. Not sure if they were big or small. This looks accurate. But yeah, I gotta find out which screws are which. So the biggest part is over with. Right now I want to go ahead and start it, but with the carb open like that, though, that'd be a terrible idea. But I'm close. Perfect, guys. I feel like it's really big blessing that this thing does run and drive still, which is super good. Just drove around the driveway, filled up the tire, did some donuts on the driveway. Super fun. So very glad it all worked itself out. Now I'm going to go ahead and piece everything back together and throw this thing, just drive this thing around and do some donuts.